Imagine you're out on a trip with friends and your friends decide to wake you up at 5 o'clock in the morning to go fly fishing with them. Mind you, this is something you wanted to do for quite a couple years now, but you just never made the time to do it. So you say, of course I want to go, because who doesn't love waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning to go fly fishing? Either way, they decided to go ahead, drive out, make it out to the boats, and the instructor started passing out the rods. And as he passes a rod to you, you go ahead and actually ask for a rod without a hook. Now, you might start thinking, well, what is the point of having the rod and going out fly fishing if I'm not going to have a hook? Because don't you need a hook to go and catch fish? So what's the point of going out and doing fly fishing lessons if you're not going to catch any fish? Isn't that the whole point? Well, not exactly. Hey, BookDevs Nation, it's Ryan Perez. Today, we're going to be doing a book concept on Seth Godin's The Practice. When you're going after some sort of goal or objective, in our case, fly fishing, you want to go ahead and catch fish, is at least usually the thought process we all would normally think of. But for Seth Godin, instead of trying to go out and actually catch the fish, he simply wanted to enjoy the actual process of catching the fish. See, when you have this big sort of ideal goal that you want to go ahead and hit, you kind of go out of your way to do anything to actually hit and achieve that goal. Whereas because he decided to actually go out fly fishing with no hook, he can actually just focus on the process of catching the fish. In other words, he can focus on his technique of, I'm not really, a fishing expert here, but he can focus on his posture. He can focus on where he has his hook going out to, or in this case, where he has his rod going out to in the water. He can enjoy the time being spent out in the water instead of focusing just on looking down at the water and trying to look for a fish. He can enjoy the time he's there with his friends. He can enjoy just being within the present, instead of trying to focus on this big sort of futuristic, obscure goal that he might not even ever actually achieve. With all his other friends, because they had a rod that actually had a hook, of course, they actually did have a potential to go ahead and go fly fishing and catch one of those fly fish. So they were focused on simply catching the actual fish at all costs. So they were a little more stressed out, trying to go after it and oh man, I couldn't catch a fish. Whereas with Seth Godin, he simply focused on being present. He focused on the process of actually catching fish, even though he knew he wasn't going to catch fish. So he got rid of that sort of higher level obscurity and simply focused on being within the present, enjoying that process of being there, being with his friends, and enjoying the moment. I hope you guys enjoyed taking a look at this book concept from Seth Godin's The Practice, really focusing on that process or the actual practice of doing something and not necessarily the overall goal.